tuning into Apocalypse Now, the #1 rated and only radio show out here in the wasteland. Brought to you by our sponsors over at the Atomic Canned Foods Factory. Atomic Foods has been serving wasteland survivors and mutants since 2022. It's time for Apocalypse Now!
Thank you so much, 40th radio announcer person. Welcome back to another wonderful installment of Apocalypse How, the show where we answer the age-old question, everybody, Apocalypse
How? Oh, we actually got it for once.
Nice!
And we still don't know.
We still don't know, but we got to say it synchronized.
Yeah.
That's the important thing
Getting
here.
closer, everyone.
Yeah. For the third time, I am Shia. Over here we have...
I'm Harrison Snyder, and to the right of me is...
Nikita Zane.
What?
And welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and wasteland survivors, etc. to
Go
another
you guys.
episode.
Yeah, thanks for coming back, guys.
Yeah.
So this week we're talking about something that can be about the apocalypse if you really try hard, as the people we'll talk about later will prove to you. Cults!
Yep, always fun.
Cults!
100%.
We love cults.
But yeah, that's what we'll be talking about today, featured in our Bunker Book Club segment. We have more to come, coming up real soon. Stick with us for another episode of Apocalypse.
Ow!
Oh, nice. I like it.
That was beautiful. The harmonies.
Yeah. I just harmonized.
Welcome back to another thrilling installment of Bunker Book Club, the book club in a bunker, because it's the apocalypse and we are still quite bored. I am Shia. To my right we have...
I'm Harrison Snyder. Welcome back, guys, to another episode. And to the right of me again.
Is Nikita Zane.
Hooray!
Oh.
Everyone's right to the right to the right.
Yeah.
So this week, as I mentioned before, we are talking about cults.
Yes. Very dark, very depressing, as always.
It's kind of like, can we call our book club a cult?
I mean, we'd have the option to leave if we want to.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, I don't know. 40th radio announcer person is very aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Atomic Foods would have problems with that contractually since they're our sponsor. But I mean, I think if we work hard enough, we could become a cult one day. Harrison won our truel.
Our true.
He won our fight. He won our boxing match. So
Boxing match this time to determine who gets to go first.
yes. So Harrison, take us away.
Okay. Today I'll be talking about a incident that occurred in the mid-90s in Japan. This is about the Tokyo subway sarin gas attack, which happened on March 20th, 1995 in Tokyo, Japan, by the Aum Shinrikyo cult movement. In five simultaneous attacks, they released sarin gas on 3 lines of the Tokyo Metro, which is a part of the Tokyo subway, during primetime rush hour, which ended up killing 12 passengers and severely injured 50, some of who later died. And some side effects of the gas included temporary vision problems for nearly 1,000 others who were riding the metro at the time. So this attack was directed primarily and targeted trains passing through the where the Japanese Parliament is located in Tokyo.
Okay.
This attack was led by Shoko Asahara, who had already attempted in carrying out several attacks within the past months as well. And actually, just recently, I think within this past year, he was executed. He was given the death penalty in Japan, which still exists, and he was just executed this past year. So still fairly recent, yeah.
That's very recent, considering the attack happened in the mid-90s, you said?
Yeah, mid-90s, and he was just executed this year. It was in Tokyo during primetime rush hour. This is when all the commuters were going to work, and Japan, as you know, is very, very, very reliant on their subway system. So rather than a lot of people taking cars and stuff, you can see the majority of the population taking the trains. Yeah, this had a huge impact on the city, and for a big part of the metro system to shut down in Tokyo would pretty much bring the city to a halt because, as I said, the city relies heavily on the metro system. But yeah, that is my instance of a cult.
So this is the second week in a row that you've talked about something horrible happening in Japan.
Yeah.
I
love Japanese trains, by the way. They have like an amazing metro system.
I've never been
do.
on one.
We should one
Japanese
day.
metro system is quite intricate and is probably one of the best running metro systems, dare I say, in the world.
Okay.
Probably next to Germany. I hear German trains are amazing. Japan, I'd say, is probably the best metro system in the entire world, and I've gone on metro systems in France, in London, across Canada. I've gone on a
Nikita,
lot.
he's flexing on us. Nikita, he's flexing on
What
us.
a flex. Wow,
What
he's
a
used so many
flex.
metro systems.
Our train announcer guy is Seth Rogen, so.
Not anymore. He
I
did that in
know,
Toronto
yeah.
too, though.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did.
Aw,
He did.
That's so cute.
That's
mean,
pretty funny. Arriving at Finto. But yeah, pretty scary stuff, guys.
That is scary. Just imagine just going on the train and all of a sudden.
Well, the scariest part is this particular type of gas doesn't have any kind of scent, and there's no way to tell what it was at first. And the thing is, I think the gas is put in garbage cans and stuff, and on underneath train seats. So people noticed it and kind of kicked it aside without knowing what it was, but coming in direct contact with it, yeah, it kind of sticks to you. And, you know, that was what was honestly the scariest part. And that is, I mean, in general, too, like any kind of chemical warfare, rather, or any kind of chemicals that are used, you can't really tell what's going on. It's not anything visible. So people just started collapsing.
Yeah, that's scary.
And seizing and stuff like that. And no one had any idea what was going on. But probably one of the biggest modern-day instances of terrorism in Japan.
What was the purpose of the attacks?
Yeah.
So I believe it's a religious cult, these guys.
I remember reading they were like a doomsday cult.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They were a doomsday cult. But I think after that incident, a lot of them turned themselves in.
Okay.
And were arrested, and then, as I said, most recently executed.
What prompted for the execution exactly?
Well, I mean, in Japan, when you kill people, especially when you do a mass act of terrorism.
I mean, but like, why so late though?
Well, I mean, just as any justice system works, which is pretty messed up. These things take a lot of years sometimes to process and rule. You know, even after the death penalty is given, inmates are put on death row. Or death watch, rather, I think they call it, and then.
You know what Japan should have? They should just they should just make it like a real life death note, so like they can just,
write it in.
Do it right away.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be easy for the
Efficient.
justice system if it worked that way, but unfortunately, it's not that easy to kill someone.
It's like, you know, these guys have just been locked up for like 10, 15 years, and someone was just like, I've had it. Let's just.
Yeah.
Deaths have got to be faster.
Yes.
Cheyenne?
I believe it is my turn. Yes. It is scary stuff. I don't know how I'm going to follow up. But
okay. Sorry. Yeah.
I'll do my bestest.
Yeah.
This is another doomsday cult from the mid 90s, called late 80s, mid 90s. It is called the Order of the Solar Temple.
Ooh.
It began in 1986. It was founded by these two guys, Luc Jory, I think it's French. He was a former physician, and therefore created more credibility to the cult, being a physician. And then ex-con man, wink wink nudge nudge, Joseph D. Mambro. Formerly, they had a group called the Center for the Preparation of the New Age. Basically, their goal was to reestablish the authority that they felt the world needed. They considered themselves to be prophets, given temporary human bodies to warn people of impending doom. Many of the members claimed the same thing, that they were spiritual beings given temporary human bodies. So members would pay tuition and fees to be a member of this cult. And it was decided that if you were a member of this cult, you were going to be saved. You're going to be okay when the world does indeed end. So there was different rankings in the cult, the leaders being at the very top. At the lowest, we have the Amanta Club, who were the messengers who would give out lectures, spreading the word of the order. The Arcadia Club, who knew a couple of the secrets of the leaders. And then the highest was the International Knighthood Organization. And those were the elite guys, basically. So one thing that's kind of sketchy about this cult is that Luke, the physician, would actually pick female members to have sex with in the cult. And to him, he would tell them this was their way of providing him the strength to complete holy duties. Which,
that's a very culty thing.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It doesn't sound legit to me, but, you know. It doesn't help that these guys are ex-con men. And it was actually found out that they were using the fees and tuition paid by the members to just spend it for themselves, buy and live lavishly. So at one point, this started to fall apart. We had this dude named Tony Dutoit, who was a member of the group. And he started telling people in the group that the visions that the members were seeing were actually projections from hidden devices that they were hiding. and that he had helped set them up.
What?
Yeah. The members said they were seeing visions, and Sony and Co were setting up devices to
Like holograms? Or
hologram
What?
projections.
So pretty much this
so
entire thing was a
cool.
farce.
This
Oh
was
my.
this was a farce, but
It was a scam.
it was never admitted by the members.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though. I mean, just like, you just had a vision.
Yeah,
Like-
it gets worse.
Okay.
So at one point, Tony and what's his name? Joseph. They both had daughters and they both shared a name actually. Joseph claimed that his children were demigods. And so when the accusations that the cult was a farce started coming out, in anger he stated that Tony's child was actually the Antichrist.
LMAO.
Yeah, that's the devil.
And made
This is the
him do it?
Antichrist. Yeah, because I guess the logic would be that if Joseph is the third rising of Jesus, his daughter would be, if he is a god, then his daughter would be some form of Christ. He also claimed that his daughter was born the same way that Jesus was, just happened, conceived without any sort of sex involved. So I guess in parallel, so in retaliation to this accusation, unfortunately on October 4th, 1994, Tony, his wife, and his child were all stabbed to death by two of the members because Antichrist. And then like maybe 12 hours after that, there was a bunch of fires going off in these cult-owned homes in pockets of mass suicide. These would continue further along the years. The interesting thing is that a lot of members would wear robes, arrange themselves in a circle. Some would set fires, others would shoot themselves in the head, others would drink poison. And then the unfortunate thing is, this I find really sad, Joseph's son was actually a skeptic as he got older and older and older, especially after Tony started talking about the projections going on.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, his son's body was also found among one of the pockets of mass suicide. So people are wondering, did he do this willingly, or if this was something he was forced into. The leaders of the cult are now dead, but I have no doubt that the cult still persists. And if you're looking for it, looking to join, you can find it locations in Switzerland, France, and Canada.
All right.
Oh, Canada,
that's
nice.
cool.
Yes, Quebec.
Oh, Canada, eh?
Quebec if you're feeling, Quebec specifically.
Oh, great. Okay.
Nice.
So, yeah, just not too far from
Even
us.
Is that
after
an
it was
advertisement?
dismissed as a farce, people are still...
Yeah, I mean, well, charismatic leader, one was a physician. There's a lot of people put a lot of trust in these people, trust in money. So if the dude says Tony's son is the Antichrist, then they're gonna be like, okay, he's the Antichrist. Let's he's gotta go.
Well, moral of the story is don't join a cult.
Yes.
You are gonna get scammed. If you are thinking of joining a cult, you're an idiot.
Yes. If you're interested though, again, Switzerland, France, and Quebec.
Alright, let's not get it.
No, I don't advertise this stuff.
All right.
Alright, Nikita, you're up.
Speaking of joining cults, I was thinking that's what we
Of
could...
joining a cult?
Of joining a cult?
We could look
You
into
were talking
it.
about it earlier. Is there something you want to tell us?
No. I mean, yes. Okay, so I just found an article that had a few cults that still had websites and, like, you know, sign-up links and whatnot. And I was thinking that I could just give summaries of them, and then we can look at their websites
Okay.
and talk about what we see.
Sounds good.
So the
Better
first...
clear your browsing history after this.
Oh yeah, I don't want you to get hurt,
I
bro.
have a really weird browsing history. Okay. So, the first cult that we're going to talk about is called Heaven's Gate, and
Yes.
we've probably heard about this before or something like that.
Creepy.
Okay, so this is one of those cults where they believe that the end of the world was coming, so they all kind of wanted to suicide.
Nice.
And
Let's suicide.
We love it. We love it.
Spring break, bitches. Let's suicide.
No! No!
Yes.
No!
they wanted to do that so that their consciousnesses could be boarded onto a UFO and they would be saved by the aliens.
Okay.
However, 2 group members are left behind. They are no longer looking for recruitments because most of their members are dead.
Right.
But I think they're still running a website, and it's called heavensgate.com.
Oh,
Oh,
gosh.
you'd think they'd come up with a more
Yeah.
apocalypse-y website.
and we're looking at it right now. So
Looks like, for you guys listening out there, this website, if I had to describe it to you, it looks like a 7-year-old learn how to use kids pics
And HTML.
And HTML, and learn what GIFs are.
Yes.
Put it all onto a page. It's really bad.
it's Comic Sans.
No wonder why they.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they
the
use-
hyperlinks.
This
Oh,
is
they have a
horrible.
book too.
They have a book out.
To order
Published by
hard-
Scholastics.
Hooray!
No.
Our
Okay.
position against suicide. Okay.
Oh,
That's one
okay.
of their articles.
Okay, so they've I guess-
Modernized.
they've upgraded, I guess.
Yeah.
If you
They're-
can call it that.
I don't know what to call it, really. This is a lot to take in.
It is. It's very colorful though.
It is very colorful.
yeah.
When was this cult established again?
The mid 1970s.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure this website is newer.
You sure about that? It looks
Yeah.
kind of screaming 1998.
Yeah, I was getting 90s with an 80s aesthetic. I like that it just says red alert on top.
It says they've been waiting for the time for the arrival of a spacecraft from the level above human to take us home to their world. So I think they think that aliens are actually like angels or something like heavenly, and that they're waiting for them to come and take us all up there.
Well, newsflash, it's been a few years now since the 1970s, and still no aliens coming to take anyone anywhere, so...
I will not confirm
Aliens
nor
were
deny
not.
the existence of aliens or angels.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I definitely like the theory of aliens being the divine beings that we are looking for.
Yeah.
But, I don't think this is, up my alley. You know, I got
Yeah.
a lot of commitments on Earth.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and that was my thing. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
thank
Let's-
you.
It's always great talking about people committing suicide and going up to space. I thought I remember you saying that yours is kind of lighter.
Yeah, you said this was gonna be lighter.
Oh, well, I don't know.
You
I mean, I guess
lied.
it was really cute. So, like,
I mean, I
they
guess
had, like, gifts. That was so, like,
Yeah, pretty cute.
red alert.
I mean, I guess in comparison to like gas attacks on trains
Uh-huh.
and pockets of mass suicide.
Yeah. There's just one
Only one mass suicide.
Mhm.
True. There's only one mass suicide.
Well, kids, moral of the story is
don't
don't join a cult.
join
Even if it
cults.
looks cute.
Don't spend money on cults. We do not endorse cults. The closest thing we have to a cult is our book club here, and I don't think we're gonna grow anytime soon.
Well, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Bunker Book Club. We have more content coming up next. Stay tuned after a quick message from our sponsors. We'll catch you
Hooray.
guys soon.
Goodbye.
Atomic Entertainment presents A Trip to the Human Zoo, starring the whole Johnson mutant family. Let's say hello to the gang. This is Little Bobby.
Hiya.
This is Little Susie.
How are you doing?
And this is Doris, the mother.
I'm making Huron casserole for dinner tonight. Care to join us?
And we can't forget about good old Pops. Today, the Johnson family is taking a trip down to the human zoo.
Wow, look at all these humans.
Say, Mom, can I take one home?
No, Bobby, but why don't you take some pictures instead? I like the middle-aged one.
The millennial's the best one.
No, the middle-aged one is.
Gee, Susie, why do you always
The
bully
middle-aged
like
one
this?
is
The
probably
millennial
has
is much
more
cooler. I mean, look at how
life
sad
Don't
it
you
is.
fret, kids. There's still plenty for us to see. But remember, don't feed the humans. Take a trip to the human zoo today, coming to a wasteland near you.
Okay, Q&A. I can announce that.
You want?
Okay, go ahead. You know your shit.
I'll do it. Okay.
Oh, can I try?
Oh,
Oh yeah, you
never
go.
do
You
it.
do
I
it.
know, it's because I don't want to.
I'm keeping it. I'm keeping
like,
it.
You know, try new things. Okay.
All right, Nikita, take it away.
Okay. Welcome back to another episode of our Questions and Apocalypse Q&A.
Oh my God, you killed that.
Thank you.
That was amazing.
That
I'm
was
so
it.
proud.
Thank
So
you.
much flair, so much
OMG.
Nikita
So
like,
much
flair to it.
Charisma.
I know, right?
Oh my goodness.
True radio
Oh my goodness.
personality.
I can't.
If you
Hooray.
were in charge of like a country during the apocalypse,
That's a lot of pressure.
yeah, you had to choose what kind of people got saved. Would you choose the global elite, or would you choose kind of like a more like a communal kind of everyone gets the same but small bunker, I guess?
That reminds me so much of Fallout.
Yeah?
Yeah, like Fallout, they had, well, it wasn't, I don't think it was a government institution, like Vault-Tec, they called it. Vault-Tec, they had fallout shelters, like huge fallout shelters placed throughout the country and stuff. So people had to pay to secure a spot in the bunker, and during the apocalypse, they got priority. So I feel like everyone should have that equal opportunity where they can, like, pay to get a place in a shelter.
I guess.
But, like, that'd be cool.
I mean, I feel like in the apocalypse shit, like, money wouldn't matter to me.
No, for sure, for sure.
So I feel like...
But there would be a form of currency. Like
There would have to
civilization,
be,
when
yeah.
civilization restarts again, there'd be
I
currency.
feel like if I did that system where it's like you reserve your place in the bunker, I feel like the priority would be, like, children.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would have to prioritize children as well as, like, the very ill in any way, physically and mentally ill. And then from there, it's like... That's the thing, it's like, if you probably have limited space, but I don't want to have limited space.
Yeah, it's like, it's hard to, like, delegate these things, like, from
Like,
where
how
we
do you
are
decide
now.
who lives and dies?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
Sorry.
if I had to choose between a spot for myself and a spot for maybe someone else, I'd probably give that spot to someone else.
Wow.
Because I wouldn't feel right taking someone's spot knowing
Yeah.
that they have that spot that I have. That'd be, like, very unhappy. I'd go
You know-
communal, because I'd just be happy to be alive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and I
true.
feel like everyone together, like, it'd help to, like, restart civilization.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's easier to do that when there's not this huge divide of who gets the nice bunker.
Yeah, that is true. Like, that's, like, a very, like, I don't know, like,
This feels like World
normally
War II.
you would think about that, but, like, like what I've heard from, like, the bunkers that are out there, like the bunkers that you talked about, like the high-end, like, Las Vegas bunkers, and, like, the Denver airport, like, they say it's only for the global elite. That's just how, like, the narrative sounds. Like, it sounds
Yeah.
like they're just preparing for, like, people who have money or people that are important, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I said, like, after the world ends, what's money? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like you'd just be miserable with the same 4 people too. I feel like if you have an
Yeah.
entire civilization underground, you can be like, you can meet
Oh, true,
people
true,
and
true,
like
true.
morale would be high. If it's just you and like the same 3 people every day, you'd probably like start to fight more and get angry at
Oh,
each
yeah.
other and
True.
irritable.
because you're gonna run out of resources eventually. Then it's a
Yeah.
matter of who do we
But
eat.
like the more people, I mean, I guess you can find there's issues with everything. Like if you have like 100 people in a bunker, then like
Yeah,
you might
it's
run out of
crowded.
resources.
Mhm.
People might start eating each other. But I feel like people in a good
Not
bunker,
with canned
you should
foods.
there'd be like if I was in charge of like getting bunkers and stuff, if I was a leader, I'd make sure these bunkers were equipped
Yeah.
with like things that could sustain
Yeah.
people for hundreds of years. Like
Yeah.
I know I just watched a YouTube video recently, and someone built a bunker in an old nuclear missile silo. So it's pretty ironic. They built a bunker
Oh,
In
in a
yeah.
former nuclear missile silo.
That is
I saw
ironic.
that too.
And yeah, in the bunker they had an actual like garden where they can grow fresh produce, and they had ultraviolet light that simulated sunshine.
Nice.
And like there wouldn't be like cattle and livestock, but like having fresh produce and stuff is really like that'd be really cool.
Yeah. And my last question is, even broader. If you were God, what would you leave behind in this messed up world to start anew? Like, how would you like redesign?
Flaming hot Cheetos.
Yes.
Kidding.
I mean, can we save the flaming hot Cheetos? I mean,
I've
if
never
I'm,
had those before. So
I mean, if
can't
I'm
really-
God and the world's ending, can we just save everybody?
Yeah,
like-
but there are a lot of messed up people, you know. Like, do
I
we want
know.
to restart civilization the way it is, or like, I don't know, like, what kind of changes would we make to it?
That's true. I mean, if I had to change civilization after the apocalypse, war's gone.
Yeah.
Plagues are gone.
Yeah.
We get rid of those, because those suck. Everybody would be cool.
I guess I guess there's no saying like what you can save because like you can't predict how someone's gonna turn out.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Where to start?
We're kind of trapped in an interesting town. It's called the Orpheus Complex.
Now, it's an abandoned town that's been frozen in time and overgrown with nature.
And there are things here that shouldn't exist.
Like wolves that sound like birds and trees that just grab you randomly. You know, that kind of crap.
That good old genetic mutation crap, yep.
As for why we're here, we don't actually know yet.
Now, the
thing is, there was this map in our apocalypse bunker that gave us directions to this place.
Right, but it was what was written on the back of that map that really...
Rustled our chimneys.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
We thought we could find answers here.
So far, we've been hunted by mutants, killed mutants, but now...
Yeah, we've kind of
Locked ourselves in the psychic convention kilt room.
And it's great that somebody out there can hear us now, but we don't know what to say to you.
We should start from the first day.
Yeah, I mean, we're not exactly sure what happened on a global scale because it all just kind of happened, you know?
You want to articulate the word boom instead?
Yeah, I mean, we're not sure what happened on a global scale because it all just kind of, boom, happened.
But we can tell our side of things.
Okay, so 1 week before Doomsday, we each get this cryptic text message from an unknown number.
Yeah, we thought it was a scam or spam message or something.
And it tells us the world is ending in a week, and it gives us an address to an obscure hiking trail.
A week passes, and we think, oh, okay, it's just another hoax.
And at this point, we're just hoping it's a hoax.
But, the warning sirens came.
And a nuclear attack is about to strike our city, according to the broadcasts. From where, we have our theories, but we don't know for sure.
Nothing could have predicted this.
The really weird, impossible thing was that our phones just they totally died after the blast, but they kept turning on again and sending us messages from the unknown number.
Giving us directions to the bunker.
And well, we got there, but before we went in, I think what really shocked us the most was the sky.
The clouds were a bloody red, there were black clots of clouds, and gray shades and sauce.
It wasn't pretty, but it was the last time we would be seeing the sky for a long time.
Or grass. Or dirt.
Or concrete, or brick.
Well, not true. I mean, the bunker is made out of concrete and brick.
Well, you know what I mean.
Okay, we got one last text telling us it would be safe to reemerge after a year.
So, we counted down the days.
Before a year, the bunker one day just started caving in on us.
The ceiling and the rocks started melting down.
The day we were forced out, we also found a map to the Orpheus complex.
And there was a note on the back.
This is where the ending began.
This program is brought to you by our partners over at Hack-A-Lot Cigarettes, the #1 recommended cigarette by doctors across the wasteland. Just remember, kids, a pack of Hack-A-Lots a day keeps the mutants away. Hack-A-Lot Cigarettes. You'll be dying for more.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and wasteland survivors, and mutants of all kinds.
You talk really loud.
Yeah, I do. All right, everyone. That is bringing us to the end of another episode of Apocalypse How, where
Apocalypse
we answer
How.
the age-old question, Apocalypse,
How?
and we still don't know, but we might find out next time.
Thank you for 34 followers on Instagram.
Wow.
Oh, that's a whole 5
34!
more.
Oh
The
my
whole
God.
5 more.
Did I not predict
Almost
it?
one for every day of the week. Oh my god.
Consistent fans. We love you so much.
We love all of our followers. We love our fans.
Thank you so much for supporting us up to this point.
Yeah, for sure. And if you guys have any suggestions or questions or anything of the sort, you can always send us a message on Instagram.
Yes.
And Cheyenne, what is our Instagram handle?
Why, it's Apocalypse How, all lowercase, believe it or not.
At Apocalypse How on Instagram. You guys can shoot us a message. Remember, we will be airing our episodes on Spirit Live
Every Monday.
every Monday.
We
And
also have it up on SoundCloud. Episode 1 and 2 are officially on SoundCloud. Episode 3, I imagine, if I'm very productive, will also be on SoundCloud by the time you hear this.
That's right. But in the meantime, guys, thank you guys again for tuning in. I am your host with the most, as always, Harrison Snyder, followed by...
Cheyenne Nias, who's also going to fire you for saying that again. And way over there,
Nikita's A.
We'll catch you next time on another episode of Apocalypse How.
Bye-bye.
Signing up for now. Over and out.